In the depths of the darkest night arose the most desperate cry of captives miserable in bondage. And in the midst of a mother's innermost being awaited tomorrow's seed, destined to be born into slavery. And in the heart of a hopeless nation remained the inevitable desperation for the redemption of their stolen generation. And there they were whipped, and there they shed their blood, and there they were stripped of all hope from above. Fathers were separated from their newborn sons. Mothers' hearts were broken for the ones that they loved. They were torn apart inside as their children were sentenced to die, and all they could do was watch and cry. And they said, "God, do you see us now? God, are you still there? Why have you forsaken us? God, do you even care?" They all became so unaware that he had heard them the whole time. Yet with each passing year, faith and hope were replaced with lies. But God had a plan that they had yet to understand as he set apart a boy whom he would raise up into a man. And through this man, he would set the Israelites free. And through this man, the spiritually blind eyes would see. And finally, a whole generation could be redeemed if this man could only overcome the crippling question: why me? In the center of an open field stood a shepherd tending flock, seemingly satisfied that his destiny was fulfilled through this ordinary job, when suddenly he spotted a bush burning in the distance, and immediately he responded as he rushed to observe it, only to come and find that the bush was not burning. He was caught by surprise when he heard a voice call him, "Moses, Moses." And suddenly, it was as if all time had stopped. He might have thought that he was going insane, for twice he had heard his name but had yet to see a face. He had already discovered his destiny, his life. At least that's probably what he thought. But believe it or not, it was at his response, "Here I am," that his life truly began. Believe it or not, it was at his response, "Here I am," that his life truly began. So here began the conversation between God and a mere man. As God began to reveal the strategy of his unraveling plan, God told Moses that he was sending him before Pharaoh so that once and for all he would demand that he let his people go, in order to let his people know that he is still the God above every situation, and he is still the solid rock when Egypt shakes their foundations, and he is still the God of victory no matter how hard their suffering seemed. And the hard heart of an evil king can't ever keep him from doing his thing. He is not a man that he should lie, and he promised to set them free. Never should he surrender to the enemy's lies of defeat, for he reigns above the darkness, and his mission is to redeem, and he will stop at nothing, for he demands our liberty. I said he reigns above the darkness, and his mission is to redeem. He will stop at nothing, for he demands our liberty. And he said, "I have heard every cry. I am concerned for their suffering. I have seen every tear, which is why I have come down to tear and to break every chain, to lift them up and out of this captive place. Now go, for I'm sending you." So Moses made the same mistake that all of us are so prone to make. See, God showed him his very own vision and bestowed upon him his very own mission, as if to say, "Moses, this is my heart. I want to share it with you. Will you choose to be a part?" And just as it happens whenever God speaks, doubt creeps in so that I focus on me. And it's crazy how just one word can change the meaning of a line, as Moses' response went from "Here I am" to "Who am I?" You see, Moses probably thought, "Now wait a second, God, with all due respect, I think you've got the wrong guy. See, I once made a mess. I was formerly royalty, but now I'm just a shepherd. For when I was faced with death, I was nothing but a coward. Who am I to be your feet when all these feet can do is flee? And who am I to be your mouth when I myself can hardly speak? I am still bound by my own insecurity. So tell me, God, who am I to set the captives free?" And you see, that's just the problem with you and with me. We get so distracted when we choose to see our own weaknesses or our own capabilities. So God stops us in our tracks just as he did Moses, and he says, sit back and let me ask you something. Who am I? Not who are you, but who am I? I am who I am. And I believe that he left it at that because he really wanted us to grasp the fact that who he is all we need, and he's calling out, just look at me. I am everything that you need right where you are, right when you need it. I am the light in your darkest nights, the bright and morning star, whether you can or cannot see it. Who do you say I am? Who do you believe I am? When you can't, can you believe that I can? When you need a savior, I say I am. When you need a healer, I say I am. When you need a father, I say I am. When you need a protector, I say I am. When you need a provider, a deliverer, a comforter, a lover, a counselor, prosperity, security, living waters, I say I am. I not only was and not only will I be, but I am present. I am everything that you need right where you are, right when you need it. I am the light in your darkest night, the bright and morning star, whether you can or cannot see it. Who do you say I am? Who do you believe I am? Because in the depths of this darkest night arises the most desperate cry of captives miserable in bondage. In the midst of a mother's innermost being awaits tomorrow's seed destined to be born into slavery. And in the heart of a hopeless nation remains the inevitable desperation for the redemption of our chosen generation. But Jesus was whipped, and he shed his blood, and he was stripped and crucified all for love. The Father was separated from his begotten Son, but he rose again and he now lives in us. So will you respond when he calls your name, or will you say what he tells you to say? Will you go where he tells you to go? We're called to join him on his mission to save souls from hell. But when we fail to respond, we cripple ourselves. So at those times when you feel too afraid to stand because you feel as though you no longer have legs, simply remember that he said, I am. Everything that you need right where you are, right when you need it. Do you believe it?